So I want to talk about energy. There's a saying, your vibe attracts your tribe. And literally, that could not be more of the truth. And inside of this business, this is really why we're such a successful company. I know personally, before I got into Enagic, I wasn't really the most inspirational, motivating guy to be around. I worked at Harley Davidson. I was up in the oil field for a bit. And they say that you are the sum total of the five people you hang out with the most. And we talk a lot about meditation and visualization and affirmations and all this sort of stuff. But really, when it comes down to it, what we're doing here is we're creating synergy. Now, in the YouTube video, The Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton, he talks about constructive interference. So the example he takes is, imagine you had a pool of water and you had two balls and you drop them at the same time. They're going to hit the water and the splash is going to go up and up. And when they meet, they create a bigger splash. So basically, it doubles the energy. Now, if you were to take the same two balls, but drop them at separate times or from different heights, what's going to happen is this is going to hit the water first, create a wave, and then this one's going to come after it. What happens is it cancels each other out. This is called destructive interference. Now, you've been in situations like this before. Perfect example is, you're going to a party and you walk into a room and you're like, wow, like the energy in here is great. Like the people are happy and smiling, and maybe there's a dog on the floor to play with, and the music's good, and everyone's happy and inviting, and you feel good, and you just walk into the room and you're like, wow, like this seems like something that's going to be awesome. And then there's also been times where maybe you walked into the wrong bar, or you're in the wrong part of town, or the energy is just off, and it, like it without like really doing anything. It's like the internal feeling, because inside we have this radar that basically because we're energy, everything around us emits energy, and you have this feeling. And this is why on the African savannah you have the little gazelle, and then you got the lion, and the gazelle doesn't go up to the lion and ask, hey, are we friends? They know, like you look at the lion looks at the gazelle and goes, oh shit, like I gotta stay away from this guy, right? Because it's the energy waves. And so the whole point of this is, when you're approaching your business, there's a lot of skepticism from other people. There's a lot of limiting beliefs that we have. There's a lot of mental blocks. Am I good enough? Do I have anything relevant to say to people? Are people going to like me? Am I going to get any rejection? And this is all radiating out to the world all the time. So when we say your vibe attracts your tribe, there's, you hear fake it till you make it. This isn't really a fake it till you make it. But the point is if you were, not in this business yet, or perfect example, the person that got you into this business, you probably saw their ad, went through their page. Maybe you went through the funnel, you got on a phone call, you did a coaching call, watched some of their videos, and you're like, wow, this guy's pretty rad. Or wow, this girl's like, she's exactly like me. Like, I feel like we really resonate. The point is for you to become super successful at this, which is, I'm sure that's why you're doing this, right? We're not doing this because we're bored. We're looking to build a legacy. We want to make a lot of money and create that time freedom. You have to be the person that people want to be around. So there's a saying, build your fire so big that everybody's attracted to it, right? So let's say, like, for instance, I went to the full moon party once in Thailand, and it's black, and you got all these, it's really dark out, and they got all these crazy lights going, and there's these humongous bonfires and like doing, spitting fire around and crazy stuff going on, and you're just attracted to it, right? You're like, man, like what's over there? Like I kind of want to check it out. And it's the same thing inside of this business. If you aren't, first of all, if you aren't putting yourself out there, so you're not doing go lives, you're not doing posts, you're not posting videos, you're not sharing stories, you're not doing interviews, you're not putting out any content, then of course, no one sees you. I mean, nothing's going to happen, right? Usually things just don't fall out of the sky. I mean, there is the odd time when we're doing water shares Of course, there's COVID right now, so a lot of people are kind of, with that whole thing getting close. But the point is when we're going online, you need to be the exciting, happy, optimistic, committed, fun type of person to be around, because no one's going to want to deal with you. No one's going to want to join your business and lock arms with you if you don't radiate sunshine and happiness. Now, for a lot of guys, especially the guys in the oil field, or like, construction guys or mechanics or anywhere, like any sort of like macho, whatever sort of masculinity energy, this is not usually the case, And it's funny because when we're doing our one-on-one meetings, a lot of times if I'm sitting down with a construction guy, I always say, like, there's going to be a point in your personal development, because at the start of this business, you're reading a lot of books. You're listening to Abraham Hicks. You're on audiobooks all the time. You're watching YouTube videos. You're showing up to masterminds. You're networking with people. And like, you just start to become a better version of yourself. You start to be more empowered. Your belief system starts to change. Your limiting beliefs go away. You're more empowered. You're excited. You're optimistic about the future. And you start going to work and you start looking around and you're like, geez, like you guys are all just a bunch of miserable people that like blaming everything and cutting corners and like, scamming, trying to scam the system and all of this sort of stuff. And there comes a point where you're like, I don't belong here anymore. And that is like the most exciting part of your business. When you get to the point when you walk into your work and you start to realize that you are not part of those 5 people anymore. A really crazy example was there was it was a memorial for one of my friends. And, we grew up and we were all, gym guys and Harley riding guys and stuff like that. And we all went to a restaurant after the memorial. And at this point, I was really heavily into Jordan Peterson. And especially for the guys, 90% of guys, you need to listen to this stuff to really understand who you are and really understand emotions and how people interact with each other and why they do the certain things they do. Like, I'm so fascinated about that sort of stuff because I'm a human and you're a human. And we've all grown up watching the same videos. Like basically everyone in North America has watched Disney videos at some point in their life. And there's so much imagery and symbolism in there. So we kind of grow up the same sort of programming. And so I was sitting at the table and, there's waitresses around and the guys are kind of chirping and stuff. And, I remember sitting there being like just quiet, just kind of sitting there, like looking at these guys. And they're my buddies. And I was like, I got to get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not like this. Like, I got nothing to add to the conversation, because once you start to learn about yourself and what successful people do and what broke people do, you start to realize that, like, I need to get away from these people, right? Your vibe attacks your tribe. And when the vibes are off, deconstructive interference, these guys were crushing my energy waves, not, building, but actually stealing my energy away. And I remember I was there for maybe half an hour to an hour, and I left and I came home. I put on my earphones, I sat on the couch, and I started another one of Jordan Peterson's lectures. So the point is this is going to take a little bit of time for you to get into the habit of radiating that sort of energy. Abraham Hicks is she's the queen of the mountain when it comes to this sort of stuff. If you haven't heard of Abraham Hicks, go to YouTube, put in Abraham Hicks live if you want to watch like a big video of actually her interacting with people. And, a lot of people, they don't believe in that stuff. They don't believe in energy. They don't believe in, that the essence and auras. And, my girlfriend's a yoga instructor, and it's all about chakras and alignment. And, when you feel good, you're in alignment. And if you don't feel good, you're out of alignment. And a lot of people just, that's, just whatever. That's magic stuff. You're in your head. But the thing is imagine back in 1592, you showed up with this and you said, "Hey, Siri." Mm-hmm. And this thing made a noise. they would burn you at the stake. They'd be like, you're a witch, you're a sorcerer. Like, what the hell is this thing that's talking to you? This is crazy. Well, why was that? Well, they didn't understand this technology 400 years ago. So just like today, we don't know everything. There are things out there that we just don't understand. For instance, we don't understand consciousness. Like, what is consciousness? Why are we conscious beings that understand what a future decision makes, where animals, they don't have that sort of stuff? You know what I mean? We haven't been able to nail it down. And I've read so many psychology books. I've listened to so many psychology videos. We can't understand consciousness yet. And there are other things in this world that we just don't understand. There's something called the observer effect, which basically you can sing to water. You can say nice, positive things to water. For instance, if you say the word love, you say it right now, love. Love is just, right? Just radiates energy. And you say the word hate, and you feel it down the back of your neck. It's negative energy. And when you say these words to water and freeze it, it comes up, like one comes up a beautiful snowflake looking thing, and the other comes up and it's all just demented and, mangled. And I remember seeing this way back, maybe like 10 years ago. And I was like, there's no way. Like, oh yeah, sure, bud. You talk to water and it changes, right? Like, haha, what are you on, man? Take your meds. And now I'm at the point where it's like, hey, listen, I'm still a little skeptical, but I believe in, energy and you call it God, call it source, call it universe, call it whatever it is. But there's something there that we can't put our finger on. But I'm telling you from experience that visualization can change your life. So here's a little story. When I was in Enagic, we were doing this all offline. So we didn't have automated systems. We didn't have all this fancy stuff you guys are going through right now. We had basically YouTube videos, water shares, and hey man, have you ever heard of Enagic? Follow up and going crazy. So I made it to 6A and I quit my job. And every single month I was trying to make at least one sale a month to pay my bills. And at the end of about probably 12 to 14, 16 months. So it would have been, it would have been in March. So it would have been 13 months. I called Balazs and I was like, Balazs, what's going on in my business, man? I'm a 6A. I have an amazing team. I'm doing everything right. Like I'm just not getting the duplication. Like, what's happening? And he goes, okay. So you're doing all that stuff. He goes, you're not visualizing it. You're not visualizing your success. And I was like, okay. So what do I do? And he goes, sit down, think about what you want to make. And at the time, we were selling trifectas, and I wanted to do 4 trifectas a month. So 1 trifecta a week, which would make me $16,000. And he goes, okay, sit down and just think about it. Bring it into your mind and hold that thought for a minimum of 17 seconds. It's like, okay. And then what? He's like, just do that. I'm like, okay. But like, what do I do? Like, do I do more calls? Do I switch up my follow-up? Do I, do more meetings? And he's like, no, just sit down and visualize. I was like, yeah, I got that. But like, what do I actually do after? He's like, you're not listening. Sit down and visualize. I was like, if you're not going to tell me, then I'll figure it out on my own. And like, I just completely shut him off. And then like a week went by. Nothing changed. And I was sitting on the couch watching TV. Laura was in the kitchen making dinner. And so she wasn't like paying attention to me. And I was like, what if that actually worked? I'm like looking around and no one sees me. No one knows I'm doing this. I'm like, I'm going to give it a shot. So I sat there and I was just, all right, $16,000 a month, 1 trifecta a week. How would I feel? How would I feel? How would I feel? I started associating the feeling. All right, what would it look like? Who are these people? Picture myself doing the paperwork. Picture myself on the Zoom meetings. Picture myself getting the checks. Picture myself going to the bank. Picture myself looking at the app, seeing the money in my bank account. And I sat there and I just thought about it. And then all of a sudden I got this shiver. I was like, whoa, what was that? And at the time, I didn't know what it was. Now, I still don't 100% know what it was. But what I think it was when you have a dream and then you have your reality. And most of us just focus on the reality. But when the dream and the reality come into alignment, it goes boom, and it shoots out a shockwave into the universe that says, attract this to that person. And at the time, I didn't know what happened. And the next month, I went from making one trifecta sale a month to having a $17,000 month and having 7 sales inside of my business. It's like magic. You want to call it whatever you want to call it, but I'm telling you, it happened. Second time it happened. I was on my way to hitting my first 6A2 position. So I was going down for Balage's Stag in Mexico. And this was in November of 2017. And I remember being so excited to get to 6A2. But I needed like a bunch of sales. And inside of Enagic, just so you know, if you cancel your Ukon, which you never cancel your Ukon, number one rule of Ukon, of Enagic, you never cancel your Ukon. Reason is if you cancel your Ukon, you lose those points if you haven't held that Ukon for 1 calendar year. So I call Enagic and I'm like, hey, where am I at for my sales? I think I hit my sales quota. They said, yeah, you're there, but you had 4 or 5 people that canceled Ukon. I was like, what? They're like, yeah, sorry, you got another 7 sales. I'm like, shit, okay. So I go get these 7 sales. I'm like, I'm putting everything I got into this, right? And I call them again. All right, I think I got my sales. They said, yeah, but back in the day, we had a machine called the Level Luck R that was worth half of a point. They go, well, you got 3 Level Luck R's here, so you still need another 2 sales. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I leave for Mexico in like a day. So I'm in Mexico. I fly down there. I have this master plan of how, there's a couple sales that were coming in and we're doing some fancy, some deals with these people. And I remember all I cared about was hitting 6A2. So for like 2 days out of the 5 or 6 days that we were there, all I did was walk around. I'm a 6A2. 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 I'm a 6A2 over and over and over and over and over again. And what do you know? On the second to last day, boom, I hit my 6A2. I got my bonus and I had a massive, massive month. So these are just a couple examples of how energy and your vibration and your thoughts matter. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to do 3 main things. Well, it's probably more like 4 or 5 main things. But the first one is affirmations. I am successful. I am an amazing marketer. I'm an amazing team leader. I am strong. I am healthy. I am attracting love energy in my life. I'm attracting money energy into my life. I'm attracting leaders into my business. Everything is always working out for me. I am happy. I am secure. I am loved. You say these every single morning and every single night, like clockwork. You never miss them because there's no excuse to ever not do your affirmations. Even when I'm leaving the gym, I'll be saying that on my way home. I'll be walking through the grocery store. I'll be saying it in my head. I am constantly reinforcing to myself that I'm good enough, that I'm strong enough, that I'm attracting the right people into my life because this works. If you don't believe me, try doing the opposite. Try complaining and calling yourself names and putting yourself down. You will feel like garbage. And if you keep telling yourself that you're amazing, that you deserve it, that you're worthy, that you're amazing, that you're loved, you will feel better and you will attract good things into your life. The next one is visualization. So again, sit down and think about it. What is it that you want? Right now in my business, I'm building the other leg of my business. And all I do every single day is I'm attracting leaders into my business. I am attracting successful sales professionals into my business. I am attracting the right people that want to take a Enagic long term into my business. I'm attracting people that are going to inspire me and make me a better person into my business over and over and over and over again. It is super important that you create the image in your mind before you see it in reality. And this goes for basically anything. If there's a car that you wanted to buy, you visualize the car. If there was a guy that you wanted to date, or a girl that you want to date, or whatever, how many times have you done that? You've thought about him and thought about him and thought about him. You finally ask them out, or they ask you out, or you meet up coincidentally, randomly at a certain point in time. It is not coincidence. This is one of the things that is happening in the universe that we just don't understand yet. So take the time to do your affirmations, do your visualization, and of course, your meditation. Now, when we talk about meditation, this isn't, ho hum, sitting there and trying to, create some crazy thing. It is simply letting go, letting your cork float. So picture a cork on the ocean, just sitting there bobbing, just floating away. No worries in the world, completely weightless. That's what meditation is. Now, the problem with meditation is most people aren't patient enough to give them the time to chill out. So my little hack is every morning and every night, I come in and I do a quick stretching routine. This is also amazing for your body. You will sleep so much better, especially for the guys. And especially if you're like a bodybuilder and you work out, or you have a really stressful job. We carry so much tension in our back, so much tension in our lower back, in our hamstrings. If you just do a simple 5-minute stretching routine, what happens is you'll give your body a chance to lower your heart rate. Okay, so you lower your heart rate, you stretch out a little bit, you could be doing your visualization, your affirmations at that time. Then you can sit down, you're calm, you're relaxed, your heart rate's low, and just focus on your breathing. Stuff's going to come into your mind, you just block it out. Stuff comes in your mind, block it out. Just have the thought, push it away, go back to the float. Just literally like you're floating in air, and sit still, relax. And I'm telling you, if you can do that for 2 to 5 minutes, you're going to get into this Zen state. Your breath will almost go to the point where you feel like you're not even breathing anymore. You'll be so still, and you will hear sounds that you haven't heard before. You will feel energy that you haven't heard before. And then when you're in your visualization or you're in your affirmations and you're feeling good and you're attracting it and you're purposely and deliberately thinking about thoughts that make you feel good, you will feel like a brand new person. Okay. On top of this, exercise, daily exercise. Now, if you're going and pumping iron in the gym, or you're doing some crazy high intensity workout, you have to give yourself some rest days as well, because you grow while you're resting. But releasing that energy, expel, get out there, get your heart rate up, sweat a little bit, go lift something heavy, push your muscles, push yourself, challenge yourself. You will feel better. You'll be stronger. You'll build more muscle. You'll burn more fat. You'll sleep better at night. You'll be a sexy beast. And then the other side of that is your diet. Okay. So you're drinking your Kangen water every day. I know that. You have your Ukon because you're not canceling your Ukon. You're making your tea every morning. You're taking your pills, whatever it is. You're consistently putting those good things into your body. Make sure that if you are going to have one of those cheat days, go ahead, order a pizza, go for Chinese food, eat a bucket of ice cream, but do it on one day. Don't be the person that does really well and then at night you grenade your diet by stuffing your face with chips or eating a block of cheese or snacking all night long, because you're just going to feel bad. And on top of that, when you when you're going to sleep, you don't want to be digesting your food, because you'll have a very hard time falling asleep. A lot of your serotonin is made in your gut. And when you're falling asleep, you have your circadian rhythm, which is your natural melatonin. It's your natural sleep cycle. if you're constantly digesting food, you're going to have a really hard time falling asleep and getting into a deep sleep. So diet and exercise, they're hand in hand. I don't need to tell you this. You've known about this forever. And at the end of the day, energy is everything. Get out on a go live. Put a picture post up. Have a smile. This is another cool thing. Walk around with a smile on your face. Like, it is the easiest way for you to feel good. Smile. Smile at random people when you're walking down the street. Some of them think you're crazy. But you know what? You might brighten somebody's day. You don't know what someone's going through. And you go through and, hey, good morning. And they go, hey, oh, wow. Hey, good morning. And they're walking by and they're going, holy shit, like, wow, that's so nice of that person. And you might just brighten someone's day. And that's why we're doing this. We're doing this to help people feel better, whether it's physically, financially, spiritually, whatever the case is. That's what we're here to do. So be that positive influence in your life. Be that positive influence in other people's lives. Say nice thoughts. Have some time where you're stretching, you're meditating, you're visualizing, you're doing your daily affirmations. Again, be that influence. Synergize with people that are just like you. Repel the negative energy. Attract the positive energy. And thanks for watching this video. We'll see you on the next one.